Cool. Good morning. My name is Myles DaPrato. I am a UC Davis employee now, but we're going back in time a little bit to 2006-ish, circa. And I worked for the Audubon California's Landowner Stewardship Program at the time as a restoration technician, alongside of this gentleman.
Yeah.
Who is?
Yeah, I'm Chris Rose. I now work for the Solano Resource Conservation District in Dixon. But starting in 2002, I started working for the Landowner Stewardship Program, Audubon, out of Winters. And the year before I started, this amazing program called SLEWS was started. And that became a big part of my life, our lives, for years to come. And it still is a big memory and a big part of my life, and also something that we still work with, a program we still work with at Solano RCD. All right, so this site is the Butler site, and like many of our sites, we have multiple partners on it. So basically, this site came out of a relationship with NRCS, out of the Woodland office, and the Landowner Stewardship Program. And then it became a trifecta program with SLEWS. So basically, those three main groups all come together to fulfill different roles at this site. As a partnership, which is part of the reason I love and to this day have fond memories of doing those big projects like this one back then. So basically NRCS was a funding source, but also a technical service provider as far as engineering for the site, and then Audubon was more the layout, the plant design, but we all worked with the landowner, and then SLEWS came in as the education part of it, and also the labor as far as planting, and the heart of the program. So that's how this got started. It has three components, actually four components. There's a roadside planting, there is a ditch planting, there is a tailwater pond, and then there's actually a slough. So this site really embodies kind of all of our ideas of what we want more farmland to look like and to have is these corridors throughout them to where you can actually have thriving wildlife habitat and thriving agriculture in the same place.
Okay, so where we're standing is in a canopy of shade from this cottonwood and red willow tree, which we're absolutely not here to start with. And this is the idea Chris was talking about. How do you integrate wild corridors and wild spaces back into the agricultural landscape of California? Because we did a pretty fantastic job of increasing productivity of this landscape, but it's come with some serious costs of degradation of either water quality, soil, wildlife resources. So there's a lot of farmers out there that really want to sort of tip this thing back into favor of improving our water quality, protecting the wildlife resources, and building these corridors back into the landscape. So how do we go about doing that? Well, like as Chris would say, you got to break some eggs to make the omelet. The first thing was we brought in some large equipment to sort of sculpt and shape a channel that was easy enough for us to get in there, put down seed, plant trees and shrubs, irrigate it. So we had to kind of create the physical conditions that were necessary to lay down this framework of crazy canopy of trees and shrubs and grasses. So that's always the first step, is come in and sort of, sculpt it, and then followed by the implementation part. And this is where SLEWS was key in this project. The whole integration of bringing students out to help them learn about their food resources, how it interacts with the environment, but also give them some tangible skills on here's how you can transform a space from X to Y and then produce Z, right? So in this case, it was bare ground. There was none of this here. And then we started installing all these plant materials, and then here we are 15 years later, and we're just getting buzzed by hummingbirds and doves and quail and all this kind of stuff. So clearly bringing this farm edge back to life was the goal, and it's super exciting to be here now to see it in action. So SLEWS, huge component of implementing this project, the details of which I think you're going to see some pictures of this from our former slideshows and stuff that we're going to pull together. But whether it was tree shrub planting, setting up irrigation systems, building bird boxes to encourage some of these cavity nesting birds to find this right away. It was this incredible experience for students, for me as a mentor, and working alongside of restoration professionals that have done this stuff for a while. So I was the technician on this site way back when, and I'm just super happy to be here and see it thriving.